Here's a quick talk about, or just a thoughts on potential with inflation, as far as when inflation could be considered to be viable and sustainable, and it has to do with the balance between the money supply and the goods and services in an economy. So at any point, you have a certain amount of goods and services that are, or things that are produced in a group of people, and whatever means of money that they have in that society available at that time. So if you keep the same amount, so let's say you have what's called X, the amount of production, and then Y, the amount of currency or means of exchange available in the society. As you increase Y, if X stays the same, you'll have an inflation. And now there is a way to increase the money supply without actually causing inflation, and this is actually one of the things I've been thinking about. This is actually technically not inflation, but it would be to have a production-based economy, and that, for example, let's say you increase the productivity in that society, you can match currency somehow to the actual production that is actually being produced. So, for example, let's say you double the population and you maintain the same amount of currency even though the population is doubled. You could actually have a non-optimum, you could have a scarcity of the money, which would make the currency, which could cause unfair values in the unfair speculation versus rewarding those who can produce and things like that. It just depends. What do you want to favor? But I think by favoring production over speculation, you'll have something to speculate on. Because if you favor speculation over production, it's very difficult to produce over top of a speculator type economy, as is current day United States. You get penalized for production, okay? So the people who are producing goods and services are taking along with them on their shoulders 10 people who are somewhere in an office, manipulating markets, right? Anyway, but my actual point here, though, is that if you have an honest system, okay, if you have an honest system and you actually have a metric or some kind of coefficient or constant, some kind of mathematical value that you can use to represent the actual production within a society. Now, this could be debated all day and night, and it should be by everyone, as to what is constituted as valid production, what isn't. That's what people have to decide. Some people don't think that something would be as valuable as another thing, but overall you could figure it out an average so that each thing, so let's say, for example, you have a huge increase in production, or you have a huge increase. So once that constant is established, let's say you increase the population, you should theoretically increase the currency with the population. You could also go the other way and decrease. If you decrease the population and decrease the production, you could decrease the amount of currency being put out into circulation. So basically, in the past, we've been backing an economy's money supply with gold, which is a symbol for production done in the past. But what you can actually do in a high-tech society is you can back the currency, an honest currency, and inflate it or deflate it according to some coefficient of actual production. And this could be a function of the amount of exchange that occurs within a society. So, anyway, think about it. If this doesn't make sense, just let me know. But I've thought about this quite a bit. So you could go back onto a gold standard, which is fine. But if you wanted to maintain like a Fed central banking system, and you wanted to do it honestly, there is a way to do it. It's that you have an honest metric of survival and production, and you're not there for vested interests or to control and inflate for vested interests. You're there to increase and supply new money as a symbol for new production that has been completed. In that way, you can preserve production from the past. Okay, just like today, if you go and buy a silver coin, you're actually getting a great deal on that silver coin because you're actually buying the labor of all of those people in the past who have touched that coin, and you're actually getting it for $12, $15, but actually you're getting a great deal because that silver coin can preserve theoretically that person's production for thousands of years into the future. Okay, well, anyway, you tell me what you think. Thank you.